අරවානිවන් අවපුර තොර අකුළු ලමින් සුරකින බැවින් සිරිදලඳා සමීදු පෙමින් පරසතු කුසුම් උඩුගුවනි විසුරුවමින් පෙරහැර පවත්වති දෙවියෝ ඔබේ නමින්
සිරි වඩ්ඩනපුර බබලන දැයේ උරුම මහා පෙරහැර වීදි සරන්නට සියල්ල සූදානම්. 1714 වෙනි පෙරහැර මංගල්‍යයේ දෙවන කුඹල් පෙරහැර මංගල්‍යයි මෙලෙස වීදි සරන්නට සූදානම් වන්නේ. 7:27ට යෙදුණු සුබ මුහූර්තයෙන් දකුණු දිශාභිමුඛව පෙරහැර ගමන් ආරම්භ කරන්නට යෙදෙනවා. සිංහරාජා විසින් සදහතුක පෙරහැර කණ්ඩුව වැඩවීමේ කටයුතු ඉටු කරන්නට යෙදෙනවා. වීදිවල සිට පෙරහැර නරඹනවා සේම ලොව කොතනක සිට හෝ මේ පෙරහැර මංගල්‍යය දකින්න විඳින්න ඔබ ආශක්ත වග අප දන්නවා. ඒ නිසා ශ්‍රී දලදා මාලිගා මාධ්‍ය කාර්යාංශයේ ලෙස මේ රූපකාව්‍ය ඔබට තිලින කරන්නට අප මෙතෙන් පටන් සූදානම්. ගෝෂිකන්
நன்றி ஜெயநாத். அடியார்கள் அனைவருக்கும் அன்பு வணக்கம். கண்டி அசல பிரகரவனுடைய 2ஆம் நாள் கும்பல் பிரகரா வீதி வலம் வந்து கொண்டிருக்கின்றது. கண்டி மாநகரை சூழ்ந்துள்ள அனைவரையும் வருக வருக என வரவேற்பதுடன் இக்காட்சிகளை நேரடியாக காண முடியாதவர்கள் டயலாக் தொலைக்காட்சி 48, பியோ டிவி 20310 ஃப்ரீசட் 2 மற்றும் தலதா மாளிகையினுடைய ஃபேஸ்புக் யூடியூப் பக்கங்களினூடாக நேரலையாக கண்டுகளிக்க முடியும். இது கண்டி அசல பிரகர 2024. அனைவரும் வருக, இறையருள் பெருக. ரவிஹார்.
Thank you, Goshigan. Here marks the beginning of the second day of Kandy Esala Perahera, where tradition meets grandeur in the heart of Sri Lanka's cultural heritage. So the time has come for the second Kumbal Procession, a spectacle of devotion and heritage. So under the night sky, the great tusker, Singharaja, will steps forward to carry today's sacred Karandua. So ladies and gentlemen, join with us with the live broadcasting brought to you by Sri Dalada Maligawa Media and Special Project Bureau, collaborated with PO TV channel number 310, 20, Dialogue TV channel number 48 and FreeSat channel number 2.
Dalada Samidu Pihitai. We are delighted to welcome you to the special live broadcast of the second Kumbal Perahera of Kandy Esala Perahera 2024. Brought to you by the Media and Special Projects Bureau of Sri Dalada Maligawa, Kandy.
You are now seeing the Perahera officials obtaining the permission and blessings of the Devala, the lay custodian of the sacred tooth relic, before commencing their street perambulations. Now, the Devala will be making his way from the upper level, Ihalamalaya, to the lower level of the chamber known as Pathamalaya of the Vadasitina Malikaya, and he is seen ceremoniously and reverentially carrying the Perahera casket under the protection of the custodian venerating prelate of the Askiri Mahavihara, towards the ceremonial tusker under much veneration amidst the offering of light, sounds, scents and flowers all the way the upper chamber till it is placed on the awaiting tusker.
Now we are seeing the Perahera casket, which contains 32 relics of Lord Buddha being placed within the Ranhilige that is mounted on the lavishly costumed tusker, who will uplift the majesty of the great procession.
These officials are seen offering flowers and floral garlands to the Perahera casket. And this is the second Kumbal procession of the Kandy Esala Perahera 2024, the grand festival of respect that pays homage to the sacred tooth relic to honor Lord Buddha. And this is the devout moment when the royal tusker shall step majestically down from the Mahabahalkada, the main entrance, to the Sandagala, the moonstone, amidst the tune of traditional Nagasingha music in preparation to parade the streets of the Kandian city. Today, the royal tusker will be Singharaja of Sri Dalada Maligawa, and he will be accompanied by Kote Raja and Pulatisi Raja. Now you are seeing the panoramic view of a citadel of Sri Dalada Maligawa Kandy, which has been adorned with lights in order to celebrate the grand cultural festival of Kandy Esala Perahera 2024. On this year, 2024, we are witnessing the grace of the 1714 Perahera that had begun during the reign of King Kirti Sri Meghavarna. And up in front, now we are seeing the arrival of the whip crackers who are being led by Mr. Upali Jayaratna.
Yes, Basasna. Walking up front with the sound of thundering whips piercing through the skies are the whip crackers, announcing that the procession has commenced, and these whip masters are tasked with clearing the way for the sacred tooth relic and the king.
If you look back at the history of Kandy Esala Perahera Kanishka, it was the ruling king who would parade the streets in the Perahera. But now it is the Diyavadana Nilame, the lay custodian of the sacred tooth relic of Lord Buddha, who will resemble the king in the modern day Perahera.
The Perahera is believed to be held in prey for timely rainfall, and the elements of the Perahera is structured in a symbolical way that it paints the imagery of a rainfall. Rain would never be showered without the striking sound of thunder, and these whip wielders are the symbolic imagery to depict the sound of lightning and thunder, to pay homage to the rain gods, requesting to bless our crops and cultivations with rain.
The whipmaster's duty is handed down from generation to generation of their clans, and only those who have mastered the art of whip cracking will be taken to participate in the Kandy Esala Perahera. According to traditions, a Perahera which does not have this pedigree are not even being called such. In single file, we see the whip masters carefully manipulating their whip that is nearly 7 feet in length and that is made full out of natural materials known as niyaga and navapatta, which indicates how traditions have been preserved and the authentic methods have not changed throughout the parading history of 1714 years.
Pasasna, as you can see, many onlookers who are seated around the city of Kandy to witness this Perahera can be seen throwing thousands of coins to the streets in the belief that this practice will ward off any evil from their loved ones and for blessings from the sacred tooth relic.
Indeed, Kanishkar. And also, if you look closer, it can be noticed how these whip masters are untying the knots that are formed with the whipping. And that is indeed symbolic to the various problems that we face in this journey of life. We too spend a careful expense of mind in untying our problems down our own walk down this journey of life. The ancient poem translated from the book Sankarajavata recites the story of the Kandy Esala Perahera as follows. The Kingdom of Sankadagala. The procession of the month of Asala, held from times ago in favor of the gods above, led by grace of the Buddha, followed by the deities, the Perahera shall perambulate, just as the kings did commemorate. So tonight, the Perahera commenced at the auspicious hour of 7:27 p.m., heading towards the auspicious direction of south, taking the streets of Dalada Street, D. Senanayaka Street and King Street. And there's an interesting fact from the history that we should mention, Kanishkar.
Yes, Pasasna. The sacred tooth relic had been considered as a private property of the king, and the public had never been permitted in having a chance of worshipping it. It was indeed the thankful move by King Kitrisi Rajasingha who declared the relics need to be taken in the procession for the public to witness and venerate in seek for blessings.
As we mentioned earlier, this Perahera is full of traditions and symbolic icons of our cultural heritage. So here comes, as the second act of the second Kumbal Perahera of Kandy Esala Perahera 2024, we are now seeing the arrival of the fire acrobats who are being led by Mr. E.D. Tilakaratna.
Rain does not come with thunder alone. Just as lightning flashes across the skies, the procession too has its flashes of light. dancing across the faces of the people lining the streets to watch. These are the fire dancers who are offering fire, inviting the rain gods to water our lands with rain.
Actually, if we go back again, it seems very paradox to learn that we offer fire to seek for water. But this phenomenon of nature is magnificently depicted by this group of fireball dancers who perform this thrilling stunt of acrobatics while illustrating how lightning comes with the rain.
The turning of fireballs is called Pandam Palia, which paints the night with varied patterns of light using both hands and feet, along with the thrilling episodes of fire stunts.
Back in history, Kandian performing arts have been classified into 5 variants, which were known as Wahala Ilangama, Singakari Ilangama, Tamara Pittukari Ilangama, Natum Ilangama, and Kavikara Maduwa. Interestingly, it was the king's order that all 5 of these classifications must be performed in the Perahera, which is a royal order that is still being obeyed since the ancient times till the modern days. And the fireball dance is performed in 3 levels that are known as Bintalaya, low level, Madatalaya, mid level, and Ahastalaya, the sky level. That is definitely the highlighted episode of the fireball dance that is performed standing on each other in great discipline and balance. And also, Kanishkar, the classification of Wahala Ilangama that I mentioned a little bit ago, it comprises of acts that create a sense of thrill among the spectators, and the fireball dance we see in front of us today is one such example of a performing art that belongs to the Wahala Ilangama. And coming up next, you are seeing the arrival of the Buddhist flag bearers. And this team of flag bearers are represented by the inmates of the Pallikali open prison camp.
The Buddhist flag bearers, who are clad in white national costume, who are carrying the most respected flag of Buddhism, while preceded by the national flag of Sri Lanka. The sight of these Buddhist flag creates a sense of tranquility among the spectators, reminding us the fact that this procession is in celebration, devotion, and an offering to the great Lord Buddha.
And also, a priority of the Kandy Esala Perahera is to reflect the unity of Sri Lanka as a nation. So which is here is symbolized by the national flag that was leading the army of flags, as you mentioned.
The colors displayed in the Buddhist flag represent the perfection of Buddhahood and the Dhamma, his preachings. The symbolic identities of these colors are illustrated as blue for universal compassion, yellow for mid-path, red for blessings, white for purity and liberation, and orange for the unshakable wisdom.
And also, this Buddhist flag is a symbol of faith and peace overall. So these 6 colors of the flag that we mentioned before, they represent the colors of the aura that emanated from the body of Lord Buddha when he attained enlightenment under the sacred Bodhi tree. The horizontal strips represent the races of the world living in harmony, while the vertical strips represent eternal world peace. Up next, we are seeing the arrival of the sword bearers, and these sword bearers are from the Angambura team of Sri Lanka Air Force.
Walking in great discipline in their calm and disciplined nature are the army of sword bearers who provide protection to the Perahera casket. Pasasana, since the ancient times, the sacred tooth relic has played an important role in the local politics, since it was believed that whoever holds the sacred tooth relic shall hold the governance of the country.
Exactly. So while the sword bearers walked up in front, following them, we are now seeing the arrival of the Peramune, the most magnificent sight of the Perahera. And the Peramune will be carrying something very special, and he's the first person taking the street on an elephant. And now we are seeing the tusker Vasana of Ruhunu Maha Kataragama Devala. And Tusker Vasana is very special, Kanishkar, because he is one of the few tuskers in Sri Lanka. The Kotalapada is in fact a ritualistic dance that is performed in healing rituals or Shanti Karma across up-country, low-country and Sabaragamu traditions. And here we are seeing the up-country version of the Kotalapada, which originates from the Kohuma Kankarya healing ritual as one of the 4 Hatpada or 7 dance episodes of the comprise of Bulatpada, Kotalapada, Malpada, Salupada, Polpada, Yahan Muttipada and Anguru Dummala Pada. And walking towards us majestically, now we are seeing the arrival of the 3rd tusker of the 2nd Kumbal Procession of Kandy Esala Perahera. This tusker is the tusker Raju, who belongs to Askiri Mahavihara, and Raju is carrying an official who is holding the Buddhist flag. You are now watching the live broadcast of the second Kumbal Procession of Kandy Esala Perahera 2024, which is taking place for the 1714th time since its history. And this live broadcast is brought to you by the Media and Special Projects Bureau of Sri Dalada Maligawa, Kandy. Seeing the arrival of the Thalam dance troupe, adding colors to the second Kumbal procession of Kandy Esala Perahera 2024.
The thalampata, or the small set of cymbals, are a vital instrument used in all forms of traditional dancing in Sri Lanka and also in the Indian culture to maintain pace and rhythm of the dance. That is a technique mentioned as the Titmatraya, but here the thalam dancers consider these little cymbals as the main prop itself, where the dancers play the cymbals in a denoted rhythm which aligns the footwork and the hand movement accordingly.
And the specialty of this Thalam dance act here is Kanishkar. We see a lot of young dancers. And these young performers dash these cymbals in the choreographed rhythm and perform a dance that creates both horizontal and vertical line movements in the space using the right moves that are designed in maintaining the cultural element of the act.
Indeed, Procession. The popularity of the Thalam dance performance is indeed remarkable based on its simple yet elegant atmosphere of folk traditions. Since Thalam is in fact a dance performance which we are able to witness in many Perahera ceremonies that are organized around the country.
Indeed, Kanishkar. And as we mentioned before, we must not forget that people from different ages, different professions are coming together in this month of August to add color and to glamorize this cultural sensation and this spectacular pageant. Now we are seeing the arrival of the elephant Gajapa, who belongs to Moranvatta Shrine, Yakkala. And Gajapa is carrying an official who is holding a canopy which symbolizes the protection to the pageant. And following Gajapa, we are now seeing the arrival of a Nayandi dance troupe who are being led by Mr. Vasanta Rajangana and Mr. Vasanta Gunatilaka.
The Nayandi dance is one of the most significant dance performances of the upcountry tradition that holds a very prominent position in the Kandy Esala Perahera, especially during the Kumbal Perahera festivities. Sasna, would you be able to take us how the word Nayandi came for this particular dance troupe?
Of course, Commissioner. This word Nayandi is in fact the name of the costume that is worn by the Nayandi dancers, which is the same costume that is worn by the Candian West dancer with the exclusion of the devoted headdress that is replaced with a cloth turban with a knot on the head center that is taking the shape of a cobra. There's another speciality of this dance act, Kanishka. This dance is primarily performed by primitive Candian dance artists who have not yet been attained reverentially as a West dancer, and any dance artist who aspires to crown as a Candian West dancer would first need to master the skill of Nayandi. And following the dance troupe, we are now seeing the arrival of two elephants who are the elephant Banda, who belongs to the Devala Nilame of Sri Dalada Maligawa, Honorable Pradeep Nilangadala, and also he's accompanied by the elephant Salia, who belongs to Mahiyangana Rajamaha Viharaya. And if we talk about these two elephants, Kanishkar, Banda has been a very frequent participant in this Kandy Esala Perahera, and he's one of the oldest participants, one of the senior participants of the Kandy Esala Perahera. And Salia, when it comes to Salia, he's one of the most spectacular and very good looking elephants who take part in Kandy Esala Perahera. So now we are seeing those elephants walking majestically on the streets, adding so much glamour and color to the second Kumbal procession of Kandy Esala Perahera. And following the duo of elephants, now we are seeing the arrival of the Pantheru dance troupe, who are being led and trained by Mr. Sarath Vijay Siri.
The Pantheru is a musical instrument that is used as a rhythm tool across all three traditions of upcountry, low country and Sabaragamuwa. But the Pantheru dance is exclusively belonging to the Udarata or upcountry tradition of dance.
Dance act is indeed actually one of the frequent acts, most familiar dance acts that we see in Kandy Esala Perahera. And the tool or the instrument that these dancers are using, it is a small brass circular framed castanet with 5 cymbals fixed to it, which gives a subtle metallic sound as it shakes. It was originally used to keep up the beat in the chamber of versifiers or the Kataragama, and it is considered as one of the authentic tunes that are engaged with the sound offerings associated with the Dalada pageant. Let us take a moment to enjoy the climax of the dance performance.
Pasasna, if we go back to the 18th century, the instrument that used for the development of semi-classical dance form, which is an art that was passed down from generations to generations. The dance is classified as a Gana Natum as per the theory of Panchathurya Naga, since the Pantheruva is an instrument belonging to the Gana classifications, as it is needed to be dashed in order to be instrumental.
And now we are seeing the arrival of 2 majestic tuskers who are Mian Raja from Sri Dalada Maligawa and Buruma Raja from Sri Dalada Maligawa. These 2 tuskers are also frequent participants of Kandy Esala Perahera, and they are carrying 2 officials who are holding 2 canopies, as we mentioned, to symbolize the protection. And following Mian Raja and Buruma Raja, now we are seeing the arrival of the first West Dance troupe for the evening, and they are being led and trained by Mr. Ishantha Ihalavelu and Mr. Lasantha Vanasekara, and they are bringing us the message that we are nearing to the climax or the most significant moment of the Kandy Esala Perahera, which is the arrival of the ceremonial tusker who is carrying the casket of sacred tooth relic.
Yes, Pasasna. As you mentioned, this is the most unique and most recognized presentations of the Kandian dance heritage. It is the mostly adorned West Natua or the Kandian West dancer. The Kandian dancer's skill and dance form have been considered as an authentic expression of Sri Lankan culture.
And this prominent nature of this dance act would be the reason indeed for the fact that these dancers are assigned with the duty of accompanying the ceremonial tusker who's carrying the ceremonial casket, which includes the sacred tooth relic.
The West dancer is more than just a ritual. It is a sacred recitation for the protection against misfortune. Therefore, the costume of these dancers are also considered sacred. This is the most glamorous costume, symbolically represent the regalia of the King Malaya, the royalty who performed the ancient ritual of the Hatapas Mangalya, which is a healing ceremony that was held 2500 years ago.
Moment of today's procession. And now we are seeing the Nagasingham performers, the very special orchestra that leads the Relic casket, and the Indian influenced ensemble of music that plays its authentic music to escort the Relic casket as a part of the traditions that were conducted in the Lord Buddha's origin country, India too. And it was added to the Perahera from the time of King Veera Parakama Narrations. See how these West dancers are welcoming the arrival of the sacred tooth relic casket in the most esteemed way.
Dressed in the white Tuppotia costume, this is the Karya Karavana Korala, who is the royal official that holds the responsibility for all engagement in regard to the offering, the Perahera and the Relic casket.
And following the Karya Karavana Korala, we are now seeing the arrival of the ceremonial tuskers as well as the Nagasingham performers that we mentioned before. Let us take a moment to worship and pay respect to the sacred relic casket. And also, if we mention about the ceremonial tuskers today, the ceremonial tusker who's carrying the sacred tooth relic casket today is the tusker Singharaja, who belongs to Sri Dalada Maligawa, and he's being accompanied by the tusker Pulatisi Raja of Sri Dalada Maligawa and Kotte Raja of Kotte Rajamaha Vihara. There's a speciality of about today's procession, Kanishkar, which is today the tusker Pulatisi Raja is making his debut as a Dale tusker who's accompanying the ceremonial tusker. So, following the sacred tooth relic casket, we are now seeing the arrival of the chamber of versifiers.
Yes, Pasasna, to mention the chamber of versifiers or the Kavikara Madhu, the group of poets who walk behind the relic casket while singing the virtues of Lord Buddha. These versifiers are holding several instruments including the Pantheruva and the Udakya, the speciality of the Kavikara Madura.
And following the chamber of versifiers, now we are seeing the second West dance troupe for the evening, who are welcoming and accompanying the lay custodian of the sacred tooth relic. And this West dance troupe is being led and trained by Mr. Sanjeeva Verapitiya and Mr. Peter Surasena. So let us take a moment to experience the elegance of the Sri Lankan cultural heritage. So this West Dance troupe is welcoming the arrival of the lay custodian of the sacred tooth relic, the Diyavadana Nilame. Usually we expect to see the Diyavadana Nilame in all processions parading down the street. But the tradition of the second Kumbal procession is the fact that the Diyavadana Nilame, the lay custodian of the sacred tooth relic, is being represented by the Basnayaka Nilame of Sri Mahanatha Devala. So today you will be seeing today you will be seeing the Basnayaka Nilame of Sri Mahanatha Devala taking part in the second Kumbal procession. Accompanied by the West Dance Troupe, we are now seeing the majestic work of the Basnayaka Nilame of Sri Mahanatha Devala, Honorable A.W.S. Bandaranayaka, and he will be representing the Diyavadana Nilame, the lay custodian of the sacred tooth relic, taking part in the second Kumbal procession of Kandy Esala Perahera 2024.
And Pasasna, if you look closely, we can see the Vidanis or the chieftains of the 10 associated village of Sri Dalada Maligawa following the lay custodian of the sacred tooth relic.
And as it marks the end of the procession of Sri Dalada Maligawa, this is the commencement of the Sri Natha Devala procession of the second Kumbal Perahera of Kandy Esala Perahera Mangalaya 2024. Coming up in front in the Sri Natha Devala procession, this is a group of Buddhist flag bearers leading the way, and these flag bearers are represented by the civil defense officials of Palle. If you look at the Sri Natha Devala in Kandy, it is located right in front of the Sri Dalada Maligawa, where it is considered as the main shrine that is dedicated towards Lord Natha and one of the oldest buildings in Kandy that was built even before the Sri Dalada Maligawa. The procession of the Sri Natha Devala is the first to follow the Dalada Perahera due to the belief that good Natha is the next in line to attain Buddhahood. And the Buddhist flag is a frequent item that we see in Kandy Esala Perahera. Isn't it, Kanishka?
Indeed, Pasasna, indeed. It's showing the
harmony and as a symbol of Buddhism in our country, and also it showcases the harmony between the people of our country.
Of course, Pasasna.
The well-known fact behind God Natha is the belief that he is the next in line to attain Buddhahood as Maitri Bodhisattva, where he is also identified as Avalokiteshvara in Indian cults. So following the Buddhist flag bearers, now we are seeing the official Hevisi troop of Sri Natha Devala, who are being led and trained by Mr. S.Y.G. Vijayasena.
Pasasna, the premises of the Natha Devala in Kandy is recognized as the Jai Bhumi, or the land of luck. Do you know the story behind it?
Yes, would you mind of saying?
Yes, sure, Pasasna. Since the time of our ancestors, based on the indication by ancient Brahmin name Senkada, according to the legend, this sage Senkada had once visited this land and had witnessed her hare being chased by a pack of wolves. And with a flick of a moment, the hare had managed to chase the entire pack of wolves with a flick of a moment. Interestingly, it was just at the same time the Brahmin that evolved the name of the city Senkatagala to Kandy.
Yes, Kanishkar, it is very fascinating to go back to the history of these places and all these symbolic items to see what kind of a rich culture that our country possesses.
Indeed, Pasasna.
So we are now seeing the heavy troupe of Sri Natha Devala. So just like how the heavy troupe of the Sri Dalada Maligawa procession engages in their own routine offerings, the heavy troops of the four Devala Peraheras are the actual lineages who still perform in the daily, weekly, monthly and annual rites and rituals of the particular Devalaya. This is because Hevasi is not just a part of the Sri Dalada Maligawa's rituals, but it is also similarly important to the offerings of the Devala shrines as the main Shabda Puja or offerings towards the respective god. So following the Hevasi troupe, we are now seeing the arrival of the elephant Rohana. Elephants has indeed been a very prominent part or an icon of the Perahera itself, and they have been significant participants in most of the cultural rituals, festivals and events which have been taking place in Sri Lanka since the ancient times. And following the elephant Rohana, we are now seeing the arrival of a Savarang dance troupe. And this dance troupe is being trained and led by Mr. Dilshan Shalikal of Arya Dance Academy.
Dance items which involve these tussles are quite often in the Perahera. But this is not the usual Chamara dance we witnessed earlier yesterday, Pasasna. But this dance, which is recognized as the Savarang dance, is similar to the Chamara dance, but with difference in the pop that is used.
And it is important to note that these tassels are symbolic of the act of fanning to the sacred tooth relic, or here it is the godly ornaments of god Natha.
We can see the onlookers looking at this dance as the performers use different dance steps, different stances and the visual beauty that is creating a motion of soothing for the onlookers as well, Pasasna.
Exactly, Kanishka. It is indeed again symbolic of the act of fanning. And it is very amusing that each step and each dance act is revolved around the sacred tooth relic or the godly ornaments, which are the most significant items or the sacred items of this Kandy Esala Perahera, right?
Of course.
And here we are seeing the elephant Sadev Raja, who is carrying an official who is holding a Buddhist flag. And following Sadev Raja, we are now seeing a troupe of Lee Kelly dancers who are being led and trained by Mr. HMG Upali Dharmaratna of Shashikala Aesthetic Academy.
Is also another interesting folk dance of the up-country tradition that consists of performers having two wooden sticks on their hands who shall dash them together in a rhythm, individually and even among pairs at some times of groups.
Fast tempo that is performed in several episodes of this legally dance creates a sense of energy that truly creates a battle atmosphere, which once again connects the folk dance with the previously mentioned affiliation with war rehearsing that we saw in other acts of the Perahera as well. So now we are seeing the elegant arrival of the elephant Kandula, who is carrying an official who's holding a canopy. As this canopy symbolizes the protection, Kanishkar, can you believe that elephants in the history have been reasons for battle in our history? So it is believed that a fight over an elephant sparked a big battle between a Sri Lankan king and the Portuguese. So that indicates what kind of a treatment or a place that elephants have been possessing in our culture since the ancient history. And following Kandula, now we are seeing the arrival of the Nayandi dance troupe of Sri Natha Devala Perahera. This dance troupe is being led and trained by Mr. Asanka Karunaratna. This Nayandi dance, Kanishkar, it is said to be belonging to the classification of Rupanatum due to its visual richness in attraction, and this dance is also known as Adaves, meaning half of the West costume as we mentioned before, and at times it is even known as Tanikachi, that relates to the special head turban that is worn by the Nayandi dancers. And these Nayandi dancers are assigned with the auspicious duty of accompanying or welcoming the ceremonial tusker who will be carrying the godly ornaments of god Natha.
The well-known fact behind God Natha is the belief that he is next in line to attain Buddhahood as Maitri Bosathanan.
So this procession is to pay homage to god Natha, who is believed to be attaining Buddhahood next. So this is the chief priest of Sri Mahanatha Devala Kandy, and he is accompanying the ceremonial tuskers who will be carrying the sacred godly ornaments of Lord Natha. Let us take a moment to pay respect to the godly ornaments of Lord Natha. And today, the ceremonial tusker of the Sri Mahanatha Devala Perahera would be the elephant, actually, the elephant Arjuna, and he's being accompanied by the she elephant Kuweni and the elephant Bandara. As it marks the end of the Sri Mahanatha Devala Perahera, this is the commencement of the Sri Mahavishnu Devala procession. This is the devout moment in which the godly ornaments of Lord Vishnu being carried out from the shrine for the street perambulations. And we are now seeing the opening act of the Sri Mahavishnu Devala procession, which is a group of state flag bearers. And following the flag bearers, we are now seeing the arrival of the Muthiyangane elephant, who's carrying an official who's holding the sun moon flag. And it is the ancient tradition that the first elephant to take part in the procession of the Sri Mahavishnu Devalaya shall carry an official holding this special flag that we mentioned. and it is affiliated to the customs of the god Vishnu. And this flag, just as we mentioned earlier, illustrates the sun and the moon. And now we are seeing the official Hevisi ensemble of Sri Mahavishnu Devala.
Sri Mahavishnu Devala in Kandy, that is also prominently identified as the Mahadevalaya or the Great Shrine, is the main shrine in the hill capital that is dedicated to Lord Vishnu among the Satara Mahadevalayas in Kandy. The Devalaya is located northeast to the Sri Dalada Maligawa, which is accessed easily via the Rajavidya and is concerned as the most prominent religious sites in Kandy as well.
Yes, if you focus on this specific Hevisi troupe of Sri Mahavishnu Devala, it is notably special among all the other Hevisi troupes that we saw and that we will be seen throughout this procession, and it is based on several importances. As we know, the inaugural ritual of the Esala Perahera is the cup situina, or the planting of jack in the auspicious hour, and this piece of jack plant is being cut from the village of Alutnuwara that is located in the footsteps of Kataragama, which marks the entrance to the district of Kandy and is also known for the Alutnuwara Sri Dadimunda Devala, that is the main shrine in Sri Lanka that is dedicated to Lord Dadimunda. So this chosen piece of jack plant or kappa is ceremoniously brought all the way from Alutnuwara Sri Dadimunda Devala premises to the Dadimunda Devala in Kandy on the Mount of Tusker along a distance of 25 kilometers. The Dadimunda Devala in Kandy is located in the Sri Mahavishnu Devala premises itself, and this is where the main piece of jack plant shall be cut into 4 equal quarters and distributed to the other 3 Devala shrines on the mounds of 3 tuskers. So coming back to this Hevisi group, this group is in fact the exact ensemble that shall take part in all the events mentioned above throughout its rituals from Alutnuwara to Kandy, and apart from the Cup Situima, this Hevisi troupe of Sri Mahavishnu Devala is a designated ensemble that is tasked with alarming the other 4 Devala shrines onto the right to team to leave to the Diya Kapima or the water cutting ceremony. So following the Hevisi troupe, we are now seeing the arrival of the she-elephant actually, Biyagama Rani, and she is carrying an official who's holding a canopy in the shape of a cobra.
Fasasana, when talking about the legends of Lord Vishnu, okay.
Yes. Before talking about the legend of Lord Vishnu, actually, we have to mention that we are now witnessing the arrival of another performance, and it is actually a group of Savaran dancers, and they are dressed in the dashing color of blue to symbolize the affiliation with the Lord Vishnu.
Yes, Pasasana, to continue with the legend of Lord Vishnu, among the diverse religion beliefs that are observed in this island nation, Sri Lanka, Lord Vishnu is a virtuous god who is popularly being worshipped by both Sri Lankan Hindus and Buddhist devotees. He is known by 108 other names including Hari, Madhava, Venkateshwara and Narayana, apart from the Sri Lankan recognition as Upulvan Deviyo.
And as these dancers are paying homage to the Lord Vishnu, whom we mentioned about a little bit ago, we have to mention specific fact about this dance troupe. This dance troupe is actually the Nityatal dance school, and they have been a part of this Perahera of Sri Mahavishnu Devala for many years. And the most fascinating fact that we hear about this dance academy is that the Talagahagoda lineage of dancers have been in presence ever since the time of King Walagamba. And these young dancers are surely a hope that these traditions shall continue regardless of the revolutionizing world.
Indeed, Pasasna.
Following the Savarang dance troupe, we are now seeing two elephants dressed in blue. So one elephant is the elephant Sanju from Matugama, and the other elephant is Mudunkot elephant, and both these elephants are carrying officials who are holding canopies. And following the duo of elephants, now we are seeing another dance act, which is a Nayandi dance performance. And these dancers are actually accompanying or welcoming the arrival of the tusker or the elephant who will be carrying the reliquaries, the sacred reliquaries of Lord Vishnu.
The cult of Lord Vishnu is not just limited to Hinduism, but has a long-standing affiliation with Buddhism too. The Chronicles of Sri Lanka states that it was great Upulvan Devi or Lord Vishnu who was selected as the guardian to protect the land of Sri Lanka and Buddhism within at its time of passing away of Lord Buddha.
Shall we take a moment to experience the climax of this Nayandi dance performance, Kanishka?
Indeed, Pasasna.
About to witness the most awaited moment of the Sri Mahavishnu Devala procession, which is the arrival of the ceremonial elephant or the tusker who will be carrying the godly ornaments of Lord Vishnu. And now we are seeing the chief priest of Sri Mahavishnu Devala accompanying and or leading the way to the ceremonial elephant.
Let us now take a moment to feel the devotion and to worship the godly ornaments of Lord Vishnu.
And the ceremonial tusker actually of Sri Mahavishnu Devala Perahera today is the tusker Ekadanta, and he is being accompanied by the she elephant Alapatha and also Bia Gamarani.
Pasasna, you mentioned the dashing colors of blue in the Vishnu Devala perambulation. Do you know the reason behind it?
What is it, Kanishkar?
Pasasna, the Lord Vishnu is believed to be in dark skin tone, and now we can see
The commencement of Sri Maha Kataragama Devala procession, as it marked the end of the Sri Vishnu Devala procession. And you are now seeing the godly ornaments of Lord Kataragama being carried out to take part in the procession. Leading the way in the Sri Maha Kataragama Devala procession, we are now seeing the Buddhist flag bearers. You are now watching the second Kumbal Procession of Kandy Esala Perahera 2024, and this special live broadcast is brought to you by the Media and Special Projects Bureau of Sri Dalada Maligawa, Kandy. So this is the arrival of the official heavy troop of Sri Maha Kataragama Devalaya.
And Pasasna, if you look closely, the opening representation of the Maha Kataragama Devala Perahera, there were unique flag bearers who showcased a different variety of flags. The flags that led the way was an illustration of King Ravana, who is an ancient king of Sri Lanka, who connects the Indian epic of Ramayana to Sri Lanka. The reason why we see the flag of King Ravana being led ahead in the procession is to communicate a belief that King Ravana is a reincarnation of Lord Kataragama.
And the elephant we saw before was the elephant Suranimala, who belongs to Sri Dadimunda Devalaya of Alut Nuwara.
The Sri Maha Kataragama Devalaya in Kandy is one of the key places of worship that dedicated to Lord Kataragama in the city of Kandy. And the speciality of Sri Maha Kataragama Devalaya being the only out of the Satara Maha Devalaya or the four main shrines that is located outside the premises of the Sri Dalada Maligawa, as it is located in the Kotugodalla Vidya, which was once known as the Kavikara Vidya, where the poets of the king had used to reside during the times of royalty.
As we saw the dashing color of blue in the Sri Mahavishnu Devala procession, we are now seeing the color of red in this Sri Mahakataragama Devala procession, which connects with the story or the legend of Lord Kataragama. And walking down the street, we are now seeing the arrival of the elephant Podiraju as the second elephant, adding glamour to Sri Mahakataragama Devala procession. And next up, we are seeing a troupe of Pantheru dancers who are being led and trained by Mr. Lakmal Veerasinghe of Helakala Aesthetic Academy.
Pasasna, the legend of Lord Kataragama, narrates his arrival in Sri Lanka as a very interesting story of romance. According to the story, Lord Kataragama had witnessed a tribal young girl named Valli from southeast wilds of Sri Lanka, with whom he fell in love with.
Shall we take a moment to experience the climax of this dance at Kanishka before going to the rest of the story?
Indeed, Pasasna. To continue with the story, Valli, with whom he fell in love with. In order to win Valli as his consort, he had reached Sri Lanka via the shores of Devundura in Matara and reached the city of Kataragama in search for Valli.
Now see the dancers performing some spectacular stunts to their dance performance. And we can also feel the excitement and the devotion at the same time from the many onlookers who have gathered in the city of Kandy to watch this great procession this year. Being accompanied by the Pantheru dancers, we now see the she-elephant Manike, who belongs to Mr. Buddhika Miriyalla of Kegol. And following Manike, we are now seeing the arrival of a Savarang dance group who are being led and trained by Mr. A. Suraj Madhushan Perahera of Divyanjali Aesthetic Academy.
Pasasna, there is another interesting fact about Lord Kataragama, where he is believed to divine force behind the ancient king Dutugamunu in his battle against the Chola invaders of the Dravidian king Erala. The present Ruhunu Maha Kataragama Devala was in fact the commitment of the vow that was made by King Dutugamunu, who built the Ruhunu Maha Kataragama Devala, inaugurated its Asala festival that commemorates the divine marriage between Lord Kataragama and Goddess Valli, and commanded that the procession needs to be annually held regardless of any circumstances, still the existence of the sun and the moon.
And following the Savarang dance troupe, we are now seeing the arrival of another gorgeous elephant who is dressed in white, in dashing red. And next we are witnessing the performance of the Nayandi dance group, who will be welcoming and accompanying the arrival of the ceremonial elephant who will be carrying the godly ornaments of Lord Kataragama. This Nayandi dance group is represented by the Maligawa Aesthetic Academy, who have been frequent participants of Kandy Esala Perahera.
Pasasna, if you notice something special, unlike the other 4 Devala shrines, the chief priest or the Iyer of the Sri Maha Kataragama Devala in Kandy is not a Sinhalese origin, but he is in fact an Indian national who is traditional Brahmin lineage, and he is dedicated to perform the venerative task since many generations, where it was his father who performed this duty before him.
And walking up in front is the chief priest or the Iyer that we mentioned a little while ago, and he's leading the way to the ceremonial elephant who will be carrying the godly ornaments of Lord Kataragama. And the elephant who carried the godly ornaments was Elephant Esala of Katugastota Saratha Thero.
Now you are witnessing the commencement of the Sri Maha Patini Devala procession.
Up in front, yet again, is a group of Buddhist flag bearers as the commencing act of Sri Maha Patini Devala procession. And following the Buddhist flag bearers, we are now seeing the official heavy troop of Sri Maha Patini Devala procession leading the way to the procession amidst the rainfall, which shows their devotion and commitment to their duties as the official heavy troop who offer the sound to the goddess Patini.
Indeed, Pasasna.
And the elephant up in front was the elephant Isuru of Mahiyangana, and he belongs to the Venerable Urulavatte Dhammarakkita Thero, the chief incumbent of Mahiyangana Rajamaha Viharaya.
The goddess Patini is also known as Kannagi Amma in Tamil folklore, where we find many kovils in Sri Lanka that are built by Sri Lankan Hindus to pay respect to the faith of the goddess Patini as Kannagi Amma.
And due to this special fact that this particular procession is devoted to the goddess Patini, we can now see female dancers taking part in the procession. So this specific dance act is a Pantheru dance performance, and these dance performers are from Udayaranga Dancing Academy of Matale.
As stated before Pasasna, goddess Patini is much popular among Sri Lankans due to her power in curing diseases among women and small children. This is the same reason many of the Sri Lankans' low country healing rituals, including Gam Maduwa, Deval Maduwa and Pahan Maduwa, have accepted his deity as god Patini. The popularity of these ceremonies can only be agreed by an eyewitness, where thousands of devotees spend an entire sleepless night in the ritual grounding to experience and worship this miraculous power of healing.
Along with that, we witnessed a Chamara dance troupe who are being represented by the Ranga Abhisheka Aesthetic Academy of Gampura. And following the Chamara dance troupe, we are now seeing the arrival of the she-elephant Sita from Maharagamu, and Sita belongs to Mr. S.M. Roshan Samarakkodi. And following Sita, we can now witness a troupe of female West dancers who are also called Pine Path dance troupe. And this particular dance group is being trained and led by Dana Jayaratna of Dana Dance Academy, Kataragama.
One may wonder if the elegant presentations of the Kandyan dancing is only biased towards the male, as we notice in the dances of West and Nayandi. This thought is certainly proved wrong with this dance act, which is in fact the same Nayandi dance we saw before, but this time a female representation.
And following the troupe of female West dancers, we are now seeing the arrival of the she-elephant Manike, who belongs to Mrs. Shriyani Gunawardana of Dangovita. And this is the Nayandi dance troupe of Sri Mahapatini Devala procession, who will be accompanying the arrival of the elephants, the tuskers, who will be carrying the ritualaries, the sacred ritualaries of goddess Patini.
Goddess Patini is also affiliated as the goddess of prosperity, and the said virtues of prosperity is symbolized in the Perahera in the form of this agrarian dance that depicts the roots of the prosperity of our economy.
The rain certainly cannot stop the onlookers who are witnessing the procession, and also these dance performers, these devoted dance performers who are paying homage to the sacred tooth relic and also the gods and the goddess.
Of course, Pasasna. As mentioned earlier, Perahera is believed to be held in prayer for timely rainfall, and the Perahera is structured in a symbolic way that paints the imagery of rainfall, which proves that the heritage and the history
Sri Lankan culture.
of course.
And now we are seeing the chief priest guiding the way to the elephants who will be carrying the godly ornaments of goddess Patini. And let us take a moment to pay our respect to the godly ornaments of goddess Patini. And the godly ornaments of goddess Patini were carried by the Mangala, the elephant Mangala of Giriulla, who belongs to Mr. Udara Galapati of Giriulla.
And that marks the end of the second Kumbal Perahera of Kandy Esala Perahera 2024. We hope that our country will be blessed with fertility and rains. May our country prosper. Dalada Samidu Pihitai.